Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at the 10 hardest boss fights in Hades. With Hades finally available on PlayStation and Xbox, it's about time we tell you of the hardest fights you can expect. Supergiant's newest game isn't one to scoff at, and with these adversaries, you're going to be in for a long, yet amazing ride. Which boss gave you the most trouble? Which one is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. In the name of Hades, Olympus, we accept this top 10. Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Tisiphone. When all your opponent can say is murder, you know the fight is about to get tough. Well, somewhat. Tisiphone is arguably the easiest of the furries, but that doesn't mean she's a total pushover necessarily. She will pause the fight to shrink the arena down, leaving you little room to avoid her attacks. You also have a rather tight window to avoid her lunges and dash attacks, so you need to pay close attention to her movement. If you want to get a head start on your possible fight with her, there's no way to predict who you're gonna get, try to get a boon or two from Athena that'll let you deflect projectiles, or maybe grab a boon from Hermes that lets you get more dashes in. The Bone Hydra.
We'll have to catch up some other time, Lerny, as I'm in a bit of a rush.
Asphodel can be a challenging floor if you haven't been focusing on improving your build, which means the Bone Hydra might be a difficult fight. For its first wave of attacks, it'll launch projectiles and jump into the air before slamming into the ground and create shockwaves. Once you've chipped away a third of its health, the Hydra will summon smaller heads and turn the stage into a bullet hell while trying to spawn in more enemies. This segment will force you to prioritize your targets while avoiding fire. Athena's boons should once again prove useful here, and Aphrodite's weak effects will help you deal with the smaller foes quickly. However, you should absolutely grab a boon that'll give you a greater call before reaching this guy. It'll help you when he summons smaller heads a second time. Wretched Sneak.
You've been waiting for this, haven't you?
This special mid-boss is an adversarial one. The Wretched Sneak is about as devious as its name implies, disappearing and reappearing to try and flank you while occasionally shooting out projectiles. You won't have a heck of a lot of time to land hits, so you'll have to be patient and vigilant when trying to find your windows of opportunity. The bow, spear, and railgun are great ranged weapons to use against him, as you won't have to worry about closing much distance. As for the sword and gauntlets, prepare to spam that dash ability. Megaera.
Well, Zach, may I have this dance for old time's sake?
In your first fight, or 4, with Meg, she will send you running home to Daddy, most likely. She really does not hold back with her lunges and flurry of attacks. To make the most of yours, though, you're going to need to watch her stances and know her rhythm, dash to avoid, and dash back towards her to lay the smackdown. Don't hesitate to back off and deal with her minions if you're feeling overwhelmed. There's a good chance they'll either be caught in your rage or you'll catch them in a trap. The only time you really have to fear her is if you've activated the Extreme Measures bounty. So if she shows up as support for her sisters, she can't be killed, and you may find yourself in a world of trouble.
Damn you.
The Witch's Circle.
Witch's Circle?
Honestly, the Witch's Circle is a real bane for the team here at MojoPlays. Sure, they're just a small group of spreaders, but the problem is that they will litter the entire screen in projectiles. If you have absolutely nothing to deflect their attacks, or if you didn't grab a knockback boon from Poseidon, this fight will be madness. You're going to want to try and focus on offing one as soon as possible, just to lessen the insanity. More importantly, try not to let one of your Death Defiances get wasted here. Prioritize your safety, eliminate them one by one, and use those calls and cast boons if you have them.
That takes care of them.
Tiny Vermin.
Wait, it's back?
While this rat doesn't look as threatening as the rabbit from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, it's certainly a real pain to deal with, and will make you want to lob your own holy hand grenade. The Tiny Vermin, or the King Vermin, is annoying specifically because of how every attack inflicts poison, just like any other vermin. And anyone who's gone through the 4th floor knows that poison can finish you off insanely quick if you don't scurry to the nearest curing pool. As if things couldn't get any worse, the Tiny Vermin boasts an extraordinary health bar of 10,000 and hits way harder than your average vermin. Pray you make it through this without triggering Death Defiance. Actually, pray that you don't have to encounter this fight at all. So if one of those doors on the 4th floor has a skull on it, greatly consider your options. Alecto.
I'll send you screaming home to Daddy. Now come on.
Of the three Furies, Alecto is without a doubt the hardest and most aggressive. The reason for this is because she comes with her own rage meter. Whenever you land a hit on her, that meter goes up a little tiny smidge, but not only that, Alecto has a move where she can build up the rage meter herself just by shooting out projectiles. Once the meter hits its limit, Alecto moves faster, hits harder, summons blade rifts, and becomes invulnerable to any attacks. Thankfully, this mechanic does not follow her if she shows up as an assist for her sisters. Even so, you will take a beating. Charon.
You and me, mate.
Every so often, you may notice a bag of money floating close to our underworld merchant boatman, Charon. Choosing to borrow this money will trigger this optional boss fight, and needless to say, Charon's pissed. Seriously, the boatman is no laughing matter despite how dull he may seem. His oar smacks about as hard as Alecto's whip or the Tiny Vermin's bite, and he can unleash a wave of projectiles that cover the entire area. Additionally, his health bar sits at a whopping 16,800. If you really want that loyalty card reward, make sure you have your build fleshed out as best as you can. If not, he's gonna send you back to Tartarus.
Phew, mate, you are tough.
Theseus and Asterius.
There is no greater pleasure in Elysium than vanquishing the likes of you.
These two jerkwads have earned the notorious reputation among Hades players as the run killers, and rightfully so. Whereas every other boss fight is primarily one-on-one, save for some minions being summoned, you have to fight these two at the same time. Asterius will chase you down and swing his axe, while Theseus attempts to toss his spear at you from a distance, like the coward he is. Coward! The trick here is to focus on Asterius first before going after Theseus. If you kill off the warrior before the Minotaur, Asterius will gain a buff in his attack power and speed. Kill the Minotaur first, however, and the only thing you'll have to worry about is which god Theseus calls for when you get him to half health. No joke, you really want to be patient with this fight and focus on one of them.
That ought to make Theseus shut it for a bit.
Hades.
Does that anger you? Come, bring forth that anger then.
Of course, we saved old daddy dearest for last. The dude's name is the game's title, and the guy is just as formidable as his presence is intimidating. Hades hits insanely hard and can launch skulls, inflicting an effect that drastically lowers your damage resistance. If these skulls miss, and can generate a sizable shockwave if left alone. If Zagreus is to reunite with his family, you're going to have to give the Lord of the Underworld everything you have. Save up for those greater calls, use your cast as much as possible before wailing on him, and know the strengths of your build. That is the most important rule to follow in any roguelike, especially this one.
Consider that a reimbursement for last time.
If you enjoyed this video, check out some of our other videos, and don't forget to subscribe to MojoPlays for more amazing video game content every day.